So I came across this story the other day about a young man that could not afford his insulin and unfortunately was unalive. Now, I've been a diabetic for 40 years, almost 40 years, since I was 8, 47 now. And I can tell you, I've been on every insulin I feel like there's out there. Started on pork insulin, beef insulin, and of course now I'm on, the insulin nowadays. One thing that saved me as a young child, of course, was my father, God rest his soul, was in the military, so I was able to have insurance through the military, which was phenomenal at that time. Now, mind you, this was 20 years ago. One thing that stunk though, as a diabetic, can't join the military. So working through life, insurance is expensive. I feel like being a diabetic and living gets expensive on its own. Insulin, test strips, it all adds up. One thing, I saw in this story, working as a restaurant manager, and I will post, of course, the link down there if you guys want to see that story. Making, I think it was $36K a year, and I think his costs were like $1,600 a month. That being said, I've been a chef, been in the restaurant industry for, 25 years. And, insurance is expensive. Working, plus being a diabetic, especially in management. How do you have time working 60 hours a week, at least sometimes, to manage your diabetes, so to speak? One people told me always too, and I've seen in the comments, and I'm sure some people know, with insurance, you have to see a specialist that can cost $50, $100 at least, just to see the doctor to get your prescription. Now, then you have to, of course, get your prescription filled, and depending on what insulin they prescribe you, can range anywhere between $20 to $200. And that's with good insurance. One thing I've learned is the pens are what are very expensive. Lantus, for instance. Those injection pens with my insurance cost $120. And that's getting the little pen needles. That's another $15. So $135 for the insulin that you need to survive the last 28, 30 days. Now the vials, talking to my doctor, the vials only cost me $15. And that's, the vials, the bottles, you do need to draw it out with a needle, of course. But the needles, and I've seen a lot of comments, I used to go to Walmart all the time. And I think a box of needles out here in AZ are like $20, $22 for a box of 100. Back to the insulin. Now, when I wasn't on insurance, back in the day, I'd always get, and I have in the past too, is I would get the Walmart insulin, which is the Novolin. It's called Novolin, and there's N or R. NPH is the long-lasting, R is the regular. Now that being said, I'm not a doctor, but since I know my regimen and I've been on that insulin type before. Lantus is a 24-hour acting insulin. The N from Walmart, which is between $22 to $25, is a 12-hour lasting insulin. So 1 shot, 2 shots a day. The R is, a fast-acting insulin like a Novolog or Lispirol, Humalog. It takes a little longer to react. It takes about 15 minutes. Now, this is my opinions. Just saying out there, I just feel like being a diabetic for all these years, and for people that are diabetics, kind of stinks, with the regimens that you kind of have to go through on a daily. And it can get tough, especially when you're working all the time or you have a busy schedule, family. Luckily I have an awesome, loving wife, great son, a lot of support to get on track. So, little things that I wanted to start here were kind of a diabetic rant, so to speak. Doctors know best, right? But anyways, I'm kind of rambling here, kind of new at this. Feel bad for that gentleman because he couldn't afford the insulin just to live, which really sucks. And who knows how many other diabetics out there. I'm type 1 juvenile, insulin dependent. I know there's type 2. I'm not sure. I know most type 2 diabetics are on pills. I'm not sure unless they're really out of control or taking insulin or shots, so to speak. So I'd like to continue my experiences with diabetes at least. So hope this, and I will get better, promise. So I appreciate you guys. Hope I did all right.